Thanks for coming to Politics and Life. I hope all my freedom-loving patriots are having a blessed day. I did take a couple of days away because I had multiple within the same day family emergencies, and it's just been a very difficult past few days. And sorry, but I am back to daily uploading, and I hope you guys enjoy the content today. Today we are reacting to the Lara Trump and the Elon Musk interview that was just uploaded yesterday on X. I hope they talk about Doge, as we know they probably will, the economy, what they're finding in fraud, and plus more. Anyways, please like, comment, hit that subscribe button. Let's get it started, y'all.
By the media, you were championed by the left. Most people in general had a very positive view of you. And a year later...
Wait, has that changed?
Yeah, it's changed a little.
What?
So tell me what the last year's been like for you.
Well, it's not been boring, that's for sure. An eventful year, to say the least. At least I didn't get shot, Look on the bright side. But we have had people shoot up Tesla stores and burn down Tesla cars. I wasn't expecting that level of violence, really. I mean, there's obviously been attempts to sort of boycott Tesla and my other companies and basically put whatever pressure they possibly can on me and Tesla and to some degree my other companies. And I guess that's what happens when you go after waste and fraud, because the people that are receiving the billions of dollars of waste and fraud want to keep receiving it. The people doing the bad things want to keep getting the money. And you're necessarily dealing with an unsavory group that is, since they're doing illegal things already and we're stopping them.
Hey guys, hey Hope, hey Vishon. I'm doing a quick live tonight just to kind of review what the interview was about yesterday. I've been off the past few days, had a few family emergencies that kind of struck on the same day, so I had to take a few days away. Please let me know if it is clear. It looks like I'm at the best service. We also just moved, so we haven't transferred the internet, so I'm using like a wireless or hotspot thing, so I hope you guys can hear it and understand what they're saying.
If we're doing legal things, obviously they're going to do bad things to me and to my companies. Somewhat inevitable, I think.
Do you regret doing what you've been doing? Do you regret coming out and supporting President Trump?
Yes, no.
I hope not.
Cut that part.
I hope not.
No, I think it was essential for President Trump to win.
It is clear, guys, right? Can you hear me?
To ensure that America...
Thank you. Appreciate it, Vishon. Vishon, we need to do a podcast tomorrow, I'm hoping. Sorry, I had to go to my grandma's today, help take care of her, and tomorrow I'll have more free time.
Great. That we reach greater heights. Really, some very basic things need to happen. We need to have, obviously, a secure border. We need to have safe cities. We need to have sensible spending. I think if President Trump had not won, I think the Democrat campaign to import vast numbers of illegal voters would have succeeded. And they would have naturalized vast numbers of illegals during the sort of Kamala regime. And they would have turned America into a one-party state from which we could never escape. Some people out there may be somewhat skeptical. They may think, well, that there isn't some Democrat.
The funniest part, and I want to say this because I've been really stressing on this, these dumb liberals would be like, oh, all people deserve due process, regardless if they're here illegally or not. Yet, when it came to Trump for, 10 plus years, they went after his whole family illegally? Or what about the January 6ers who were literally given no due process? Or these people that were Trump supporters that were praying outside abortion clinics who were given years under the Biden administration? They weren't given due process. They always bitch, complain, and support terrorists, these gang members, pedophiles, groomers, and criminals. That is the Democrat Party today. They literally support everyone that Trump and the conservatives don't support. So we should just say we support terrorists, even though we don't. And I guarantee the Democrats will finally wake up that, oh, yeah, that's bad. But let's go the opposite way. It's ridiculous.
Plan to subvert democracy and achieve a permanent one-party, deep blue socialist state. And I assure you, the more you research it, the more you will see it is true. Biden was simply asleep at the switch. He was ineffective regarding illegal immigration. No, he was highly effective at ushering in millions of illegal immigrants with a specific game plan to naturalize them and ensure that there would be no swing states in America anymore. Often the margin of victory, there will be 20 or 30,000 votes. So if you bring in 200,000 illegals, which will overwhelmingly vote for the Democrats, then that swing state becomes permanently blue. Then you have the House, the Senate, the presidency.
When did Elon Musk finally say, you know what? I feel like something is really grossly wrong with what's going on in this country?
Well, I started having concerns about 3 years ago, but there were sort of, I just had like an uneasy feeling. Like something doesn't feel right here. The censorship was becoming ridiculous. I had the most interacted with account on Twitter before the acquisition. So I was very finely attuned to what the algorithm was showing me or not showing me, and who got suspended or didn't get suspended. Twitter was being run at a very far left basis. When I felt the censorship walls closing in, I was like, okay, I got to do something. And the thing I can do is acquire Twitter and make it a bastion of free speech. And that's what we're trying to do with Twitter. Like, no one on the left has been suspended, but we did unsuspend people on the right. And let the marketplace of ideas win. And then once we unlocked Twitter from being censored, then we started to see what was really going on. And I became increasingly concerned. I'm like, wait a second, I'm seeing videos of people streaming across the border on Twitter, now X. I'm like, and I was like, is this real? So I said, well, I'll go to the border myself. So I went to Eagle Pass, Texas, and sure enough, people streaming across the border. And I was like, so is there any vetting of these people? Like, no, the Biden administration is letting them all in. And I said, well, but some of these people clearly have criminal affiliations. Like they literally have the criminal affiliation tattooed on their face. The left is kind to the criminals and cruel to the victims, which is not empathy.
Yep.
At the end of the day, if you're high.
Well, it just goes back to that judge that was arrested, the second judge that was arrested on the Trump administration recently. The criminal or the victims were in the courtroom, and this guy beat the crap out of a woman and a man, both Americans, by the way. And then the judge was literally letting him slide through the side door as ICE was going to arrest him and deport him. These people on the left, these George Soros-funded DAs and judges, they are for the criminal, hence why they let in the third world to our country. They were giving them free everything off our taxes because it's the great replacement theory. The left loves to say it's a white supremacist talking point, but why import the third world and give them everything for free off our taxes, even letting them attack Americans and kill them with no consequences, and then say, oh yeah, it's not the great replacement theory. That is exactly the definition of that term. These people think Americans are too dumb to do simple research.
Society, and you bring in low trust or untrustworthy individuals, that's now you've got a fundamental breakdown in the system.
Recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster.
So it sounds like for you went through these moments of actually seeing things firsthand for yourself. So you had these moments leading up to really coming out on the stage October in Butler, Pennsylvania with President Trump.
You just can't have a country like this. I supported Obama. I gave the maximum donation to Obama. Actually, we had a pretty good relationship. When Biden was elected, I guess most moderates that I knew, they thought it would be like a milquetoast version of Obama. And then it's like, we get the most radical left, crazy administration ever. And
we all know it wasn't Biden in charge of anything. I mean, this guy couldn't even walk, talk, literally shaking hands with ghosts. When he was in France towards the end, it looked like he was pooping multiple times on camera in his diaper. Had to literally be told where to stand, where the circle is. Reading off talking points that were scripted for him would literally be replying or rereading, hey, reply or say this again. It's just ridiculous that anyone thinks that Biden was running anything is just a joke. He was a puppet for the puppet masters. The puppet masters, in my opinion, were the Obamas and the Clintons.
And Biden is actually non-compos mentis. President Autopen, basically. Biden was president autopen. Whoever controlled the autopen, the teleprompter during the Biden administration, was the real president. If a reasonable person who's open-minded was exposed to the same information that I was exposed to, they would end up at the same place that I ended up.
You grew up in South Africa. You lived during a period of apartheid. I'm sure you've seen a lot of horrific things. So to be called a Nazi by people, to be made out to be this monster, that must be really hard for you.
It's a relentless propaganda campaign, which obviously President Trump has experienced for a very long time, 20 years, maybe longer. And politics is a blood sport. So they're going to come up with whatever attacks they can to destroy the public perception of someone. Now, obviously, I've not harmed anyone in my life. They've also called President Trump a Nazi, but he also is not a violent person. And in fact has done a lot to prevent wars and stop wars, which is the very opposite of being a Nazi, actually.
Right. Ironic how that works out.
Yes, but it is disappointing how well propaganda works.
Yeah.
If you repeat a lie, the sort of he's a Nazi lie enough times.
I don't believe that the majority of Americans are buying it like maybe I think 30% did before. I think the very woke left is a very, very small minority of people, probably like 5 to 10% of the country, because people are waking up like never before. I mean, I see Democrats day in and day out on X, on other platforms, saying that they don't want to be Republicans, but you guys have gone too far left to the point where we have to do this now because you guys are just openly lying to our faces, and we don't trust you. At least with Trump, they will bring data, they will bring like numbers, they will show proof of what exactly they're doing, and they're transparent about it. They will literally have daily press conferences, daily press briefings, telling exactly what's happening, where the last administration would just lie to our face. We are not stupid like they think we are. But then you have CNN and these experts who are just so dumb that they are literally saying the majority of uneducated people who did not go to college, so I guess that means we're uneducated, are the people who vote for Trump. No, because these colleges have just turned into indoctrination centers who don't teach studies. They just teach stuff like gender studies or green energy type crap that no one needs and no one's going to get a job for in the future. And then in the end, they just owe thousands upon thousands of debt, which they don't have resources to pay. So it's just like it's almost like a scam. College has turned into a scam for sure. Hi, Ruth. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Sorry, I've been away for a few days. I had 2 family emergencies pop up within the same day. So I had to take 3 days off. It's been a very emotional past 3 days, but I hope you guys are all doing good.
Some people actually believe it, especially people that still believe the legacy news. But they really are trying every angle to get me. They are doing character assassination.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
It shows that if what we were doing at Doge was not effective, they wouldn't care. But it is effective, and that's why they're trying every angle to put pressure on me and Doge to stop fixing the government.
Talk about your relationship with President Trump. You came to DC. People immediately said, oh, wait, Elon Musk is in charge of things here. Very clearly, President Trump is.
I do consider the president a friend. I think he considers me a friend. And, we get along very well. I think probably if you asked us both the same set of questions in 2 different rooms, 80% of the time we'd come up with the same answer. Which is not to say that we always agree, but we almost always agree. Getting rid of waste and fraud in the government and ensuring the rule of law is followed. We've seen just crazy things like the 20 million dead people in the Social Security database marked as alive, many of whom were receiving benefits. One person was 360 years old.
Wow, older than the country.
I think that would be a bit of a red flag, They're older than America. We found people receiving unemployment insurance with a birthday.
Thanks for the prayers. Yeah, me and my family can really use them right now. Who complains about less government theft? Leftists do, because they believe the fake narratives. They watch fake big media as well. I don't even watch either side big media anymore. I do my independent research. I mean, can you believe that Fox News is really polling is BS when it comes to record low polls, like people who are actually agreeing with Trump's administration. I love that Stephen Miller actually called Fox News out to their face the other day and said, you need to fire whoever is polling for you guys, because as we know, record people voted for Trump when it comes to all minorities. People are done with the border crisis. People are done with wasting our taxpayer funds on bullshit overseas. We are done with the nonstop wars as well. We should not be funding any of it. We need to be America first always.
In the future, we found at the Small Business Administration that they're giving out loans to people as young as 9 months. So we're stopping things like that. We've actually found there's a lot of people who are federal government employees, they're active employees who nonetheless applied for and have received unemployment insurance.
While they're federal employees?
Yes.
Wow.
So infuriating.
This appears to be at least 100,000 people.
Wow. We know that you're finding all of this, but you're actually also simultaneously running several companies. What else are you doing, and how are you doing it, and where are you doing it? Are you sleeping? Are you traveling all the time?
This is a very difficult, that's why I made that sort of, I'm wearing many hats joke. The cabinet was given the Gulf of America hat, I believe it was. So you see all the hats there. And then I happen to have a Doge hat. Like, you know what? I'll put a hat on a hat and prove to people that I'm wearing more than...
You really are.
I am wearing more than one hat. Even my hat has a hat. So it requires intense effort for, like I said, for about 3 months, which we're kind of at the 3-month point now. And then I can taper my time allocation, but still get things done. So I've talked this over with the president, so this is no surprise. Or if
anyone knows about multitasking and getting a lot done, it's him.
Absolutely, he's very good at multitasking and getting a lot done in many different arenas. I also still.
By the way, Hope, I remember because you said this at first. If you're still there, that Pam Bondi is not one to be trusted, and I'm sorry, but she is the number one person that I am most pissed off about when it comes to this administration. I think we have so much proof in regards to being able to arrest a lot of these Democrats. A lot, especially Adam Schiff, the Clintons with the Russia hoax that was put together just through them. I mean, we need arrests start happening. And I'm sorry, I'm using them at their own words, but Cash said day one he was going after the deep state. I understand they are slowly doing it, but what the hell, dude? You said day one you're going to go into them, the FBI, and make a freaking storm. And I haven't really seen much. I'm not going to lie. I know stuff's happening, but a lot more can be happening. I believe that. But when it comes to Trump, I think he's doing amazing work.
I have my little office and my cute little office in the West Wing, by the way. It's like comically small. People have taken photos of it and stuff. But I wanted it to be tiny. And even this office I use, but it's also used for meetings and stuff. So I try not to, use up a lot of space. In fact, I usually don't even have at my companies, I don't even have an office. I just walk around, talk to people, and have meetings.
That's how you know what's going on.
Yes, that's how you know what's going on.
Now, very famously, there was a story about you when you first came to DC, that you slept on a couch in your office. This is where the richest man in the world slept.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Why did you do that?
Well, I didn't really have a good place to stay at the time.
Wow. How long did you do that?
For off and on for a few weeks.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's the worst places to sleep.
Much more ahead on My View, because while all eyes have been on Doge, Elon Musk has been working on
Yes, good point, Hope. And that's the number one criticism I have. 100 days. I'm going to show it. 100 days and no arrest on the Jeffrey Epstein client list. That is the number one thing that should have been released in this administration. She said multiple times on Fox, first time actually, that she had the documents on her desk. And she said, not my words, her words, that is disgusting, some of the things she was saying. Soon to find out, nothing. Stuff we already knew. And the second time, they brought in all these conservative podcasters and they brought out these binders. Guess what? Same redacted crap. Nothing. And then about a month and a half ago, her, Dan Bongino, and Kash Patel are looking through all these documents. They'll be released soon. Crickets. Nothing since. And I'm sorry, that's the one criticism I do have over Trump. He's been asked multiple times in press conferences about these, and not much has been said. We need to release the documents. There's not a single damn excuse why they haven't been released. I'm for protecting the victims, but we can release the names at least. I think there are zero excuses on why the Epstein list and the Diddy list hasn't been released.
So much more.
Hopefully, we'll pull the technology to make life multiplanetary, to build a self-sustaining city on Mars.
You have done so much to help people in this country. In North Carolina, after the hurricanes, you actually sent your Starlink satellites to help save people there. You had to rescue 2 astronauts when NASA and Boeing both failed. Now you're here in Washington, D.C., working alongside President Trump to try and essentially save our country. Has anyone said...
Also, when it comes to the fraud and waste that's been exposed with this, they have the names and exact locations of these people that were getting this welfare, Medicare, whatever it is, Social Security, that should have never gotten it. Why aren't you releasing to the public on who these people are and who they need to be arrested? There's no excuse at this point. We, the people, deserve to know these people who are receiving these benefits.
Thank you to you for doing this.
Yes, some people have said thank you. So, in fact, a lot of people have said thank you. So there's maybe 20 or 25% that really don't like me, and that is obvious because they're hanging me in effigy at these sort of protest rallies, and they're being very violent about it.
You got a lot on your plate.
Yes, I have a lot on my plate. Sure,
I will
it's
tell
crazy.
you. I will tell you this, there are a lot of people who have supported you by going out and buying Teslas. My parents
Oh, great. Well,
just bought their first Tesla to support you.
I'd like to thank everyone who has supported, a friend in need is a friend indeed. So I'd like to thank everyone who's gone out there and support and bought a Tesla in support of Tesla and me. This is in stark contrast to the crazy people that are running down Teslas. It's not like an investment, it's like a child. The company to me is it's not just a bunch of money. It's a company that grew and nurtured for over 20 years.
What do you think, and what are you going to focus on in the coming years that you think could really revolutionize humanity?
Tesla in a few months will release unsupervised full self-driving. So the cars that people are driving right now, the cars that you can buy from the factory, will be driving around by themselves with no people in them.
Wow.
I don't know if I trust
that. We would call unsupervised full self-driving. So there's literally no one in the car on public roads. Will solve.
Yeah, in the Bay Area in San Francisco, they have these self-driving Tesla taxis everywhere. I'm sorry, but that scares the hell out of me. Me and my lady were like, nope, no thanks.
That in Austin in a few months, in June. And then we'll rapidly expand that to the rest of the country. In fact, anyone who has Tesla now, if they try self-driving, it should work very well. It should be rare that you need any intervention. In fact, in the future, I think it'll be unusual to see a manually driven car. It'll be like seeing a horse.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So in the future, it will be strange to see someone actually driving themselves in a car.
Yes.
And what about medically?
Tesla's also creating a humanoid robot, Optimus, which I think everyone is going to want. Because who wouldn't want their own personal R2-D2 C-3PO?
This is where I disagree. I don't trust robots and never will trust robots. I don't agree with them. We do not need robots in our homes. Okay, thank you.
Robot buddy, that will help you do anything you want to do. I think that's going to be a massive product. SpaceX is doing rocket launching and Starlink internet, and hopefully we'll build the technology to make life multiplanetary, to build a self-sustaining city on Mars. That's the goal of SpaceX. Neuralink is building brain-computer interfaces. The first part is called telepathy. Allows someone who has lost the use of their body to control a computer or a phone just by thinking.
Wow.
In fact, you can interact.
Yes, Hope, I agree with that. I'm going to post that. Why is Bill Gates not arrested for crimes against humanity? President Trump is having dinner with him for 3 hours discussing global health. Yeah, and I mean, he's producing these companies supposedly in Florida, like manufacturing these bugs that I can't really talk about that on YouTube because they will ban me. They always ban me for a few weeks if I start talking about this. But you know what they're doing to these bugs that they're releasing to the public. He needs to be charged with treason. I just don't understand why these big elites, or how about Mark Zuckerberg, where it's been exposed recently that Instagram, I believe, which he owns, and Facebook, has a lot of like what is it, sex trafficking for kids, or that they like allow them to post these links where they're not really links for what they think they're buying. It's mostly for trafficking kids and being able to buy kids on the internet in these apps. It's already been exposed multiple times, and it's still being allowed to function. They need to go into these apps and see exactly behind the scenes on what is being allowed, because I know there's a lot of disgusting pedophilia things that are happening in the open on these apps, and they need to be arrested. There's consequences for these kind of things. We got to protect the children at all costs.
Interact with a number of people who've done this online right now. They're on the X platform. You can DM them, I think, and they're
Ruth, yes.
by thinking. They're not typing anything.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then there's a second Neuralink device, very similar to the first one, called Blind Sight, which will enable people who are blind to see, including people who have been blind from birth.
Wow.
I mean, that's cool.
It'll interface directly with the visual cortex in the brain. And hopefully we'll be able to do the first blind sight implant in a human later this year. Within the next 12 months, I'd say I'm quite confident that we can do that. And then I also think it's quite likely.
Yeah, and let's see. Elon Musk, evil man not to be trusted. He wants robots to replace humans, and he wants transhumans. I mean, I do think he's doing good when it comes to Doge, but I don't trust robots. And now they're starting to. Now in China, they are actually able to put actual human brains into these robots, where they react and are able to function every day like normal people. Like, they are getting too crazy into this domain, I would say, of trying to be God. And I'm sorry, there's only one God, and you guys should leave this AI crap alone, because it is scary, and I don't trust it one bit. Because if you're saying these robots can react to how they're thinking and not be controlled by us, the consumer who buys them, then in the future, obviously, they're going to overtake the population. I mean, it's just common sense at this point. That just, to me, that's common sense. Why continue to develop these things if you know they can be issues in the future?
If not close to.
Especially when it comes to inserting stuff in your brains, like he's talking about. No, thank you. If I'm going to die, I'd rather die. I don't want you putting chips in my brain that could take over and force me to do stuff I don't want to do. No, thanks.
That will be able to enable somebody who's has a severed spinal column to walk again. And by taking the signals from the brain, bridging them over the severed connection in the spine, and re-energizing the nerves past the point that's broken. Like, you can just think of it like some wires got broken.
Yeah.
And if you can bridge the signals, your body will work again.
It's amazing.
So yeah, there's some very exciting things on that front. Then there's AI with Grok, which have you used? Have you used Grok?
I have.
Okay, it's very good.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's really fun.
You can ask for complex analysis of things, and it's going to get the answer right almost always. Mm-hmm. Speaking of AI, it's very important that AI be programmed with good values, especially truth-seeking values. This is, I think, essential for AI safety. Like, the most important thing we do for AI safety is to have a maximally truth-seeking AI. I can't emphasize this enough. Remember these words. We must have a maximally truth-seeking AI. And if we don't, it'll be very dangerous.
Final question. What do you want your legacy to be one day when you're long gone?
That I was useful in the furtherance of civilization. That I helped move civilization forward.
That's funny that you mentioned that. I was just talking about that the other day, Hope. I haven't purchased the Real ID yet. I don't trust it whatsoever. I don't understand why we can't just have regular IDs like we've had for forever. I think I agree with you. It's just another way for them to control us. It's crazy.
To the store of knowledge and capability that I helped understand the universe.
I think you're on your way. You're doing a lot for everyone here in America. You're doing a lot for everyone around the world. and for planets we haven't even visited yet. So
Thank you.
Elon, thank you for spending some time with us. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys. As I said, I'm going to do a quick one today. I still got a lot of stuff dealing with right now with the family, but I hope you guys have a blessed day, a blessed week, and I will be posting again daily starting now. I love you guys. Have a great day. Peace.